Hi, I'm Steve Blue and welcome to Miller Felpax. You know, our employees really enjoy knowing about the history of the Miller Felpax Company. We've been around for over 60 years. So I'd like to take you around and show you all about the history of the company. Just follow with me. Our company was founded in 1948 by Rudy Miller, who was a marvelous inventor and a philanthropist who grew up right here in Winona, Minnesota. And Rudy had some brilliant ideas, simple ideas at the time, but brilliant ideas on how he could save the railroad a lot of money in their what they call axle burn-offs. So back in the early 40s, there were actually 100 seamstresses and Singer sewing machines in the factory where they were sewing together what was actually called a mop lubricator, believe it or not, that was a bunch of yarn packed into a packaging. Then it would be shoved inside the journal box of the axle of, at the time, rail cars, so they could lubricate from an oil reservoir the axle so they wouldn't have burn-offs. And it was quite revolutionary at the time, although now it seems a little bit backward because they were just sort of mock lubricators. And then over the years they became more sophisticated in their application of that mop lubricator, and in time that mop lubricator was technologically replaced in the rail car by roller bearings. But the locomotives still had the same problem and did not have roller bearings, so Rudy then migrated that product out into the locomotive and extended the life of it. And over time, as the company progressed, it became more and more sophisticated in this ability to lubricate the axle and prevent burn-offs. In the 60s, the company started to diversify into high-performance plastics. We still had the lubricator line. As a matter of fact, we still do even today. But we started morphing the company into high-performance plastics wear parts where instead of having metal on metal, where the locomotive body sits on the wheel assembly and the rail car body sits on the wheel assembly, instead of having the metal grind against metal and have to be replaced that way, we provided a high-performance plastic part that went in between. So when it was time to replace it, they just threw away a relatively inexpensive plastic part instead of having to replace the whole metal part. Well, then we move into the 70s. And there was a lot going on in the 1970s in the rail industry. They were losing millions of dollars of wasted oil that would get dumped into the ground from the bottom of the locomotive bottom, where the axle and the wheel assembly comes together and the gears that turn the actual traction motor. That has to be lubricated, and a lot of it was just getting dumped into the ground. Well, that was costing the railroads millions, and the EPA didn't like it either. And so there needed to be a solution, and my predecessor and his team actually found a pretty elegant solution that they discovered by mixing different chemicals in paint cans until they came across it. In fact, when they did come across it, for many, many years, they weren't even sure what they came across. But it worked, and it saved the railroads millions of dollars, and before very long, every locomotive in the United States of America, and now many of them in the world, have this Miller Felpax seal that was basically developed in the 1970s. Then as we move forward into the 1990s, that's about the time that I came here, it was actually 1998, we developed a line of light-emitting diode highway crossing signals. You know, where you come up to the railroad crossing, you got those wig-wag arms and the gate lights. Well, a lot of the lights are incandescent bulbs, but over the course of the last 10 years, the industry has been shifting to LED lights because of the longevity of them and the energy savings and so forth. We entered that market in the year 2000, and now we own that market. We basically produce more, we have more installed LED signals than any other supplier in the world. At the same time, we bought one of our competitors on the West Coast, and that boosted our sales quite a bit. And moving forward in time to the mid-2000s, to the late 2000s, you could see here we were awarded the Governor of Minnesota's Certificate of Commendation for being a good corporate citizen. Innovation is in our DNA. It's been in our DNA since the very beginning. As you look across the history of Miller Felpax, from Rudy Miller's first invention in 1948 to the LED highway crossing signal invention in the 1990s to the year 2010 when we entered the truck market for the first time, and we now dominate that, by the way. We have 50% of market share. It's all been as a result of innovation. And as you look at our company, either as a customer or as an employee, you need to know that this is a place where you'll find innovation if you want it. If you want to be part of it, this is the place to be. If you need innovation to solve your problems as a customer, we're the people you should go to.